Okay, can everyone see my screen okay? Okay, just a couple more things. Okay, let's begin. So, thank you for attending the webinar. Today's webinar is called Work in the Cloud. As I said, this is Ricky from Student Affairs Technology. My goal today is to show you how to take advantage of the cloud features of Box. You probably have heard of Box from our infamous Box migration. The main motivation for this was not only to make sure your files were safe and secure, but also to take advantage of the cloud features of Box. But before we begin, let's ask the question, what is the cloud? Well, it's nothing more than a term to describe a service or application that is hosted over the internet. If you have ever heard of Dropbox Google Drive, Box is basically the same thing. Specifically, we use Box because it allows us to store FERPA documents, which is very important. If you never heard of a cloud storage solution, think of it like a flash drive online that only you can access, so it's secure. You can add files, remove files, and even share files. So let's begin. There are a lot of features in Box, and this morning we'll be covering some of the basics, and then if we have time, we'll dive into more of the advanced features. Feel free to take notes, but I'll be providing some documentation instructions at the end of this webinar that shows all this stuff in more detail with screenshots, so that's pretty great. So the first step is, how do we actually get to Box? Well, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is go to box.uic.edu in the web browser. So let's go ahead and type that in. And when you see this page, you'll notice in the top it says part of University of Illinois. What you're going to want to do is click continue on the top here. And this screen should look very familiar. This is BlueStem. So we're going to want to choose University of Illinois Chicago and click select. And this should look very familiar. So when you get to this page, you're going to want to type in your NetID and password, and then just press enter or click login. And this right here, this is the root of Box, or as Box calls it, all my files. So this is the very top folder of Box. So let's just say, as you can see right now, I have a lot of folders and files, but let's say I didn't have any files. How would we go about doing that? Well, as you can see on the top right here, there's this upload button. If we click this upload button, you'll be given two options, either files or folders. I think you'll be uploading mostly files. You can still upload folders, but there's an easier way to do this, and I'll show you a little bit later on today why that is. So let's go ahead and click Files. And when you see this page right here, you'll have a dialog box. This will look familiar if you ever attached a file into an email. This is the exact same box. So once you're at this point, you can just choose whatever file you like. Since right now we're in my pictures folder, pictures are not synced up to the cloud right now, so I'm going to upload something. So let's go ahead and upload this image I doodled in my free time. And as you can see, as soon as I press that, it uploaded almost immediately. And take notice of this bar in the bottom that says completed. Since this file was pretty small, it uploaded pretty quickly. But say we had a video file, something larger, maybe a gigabyte or more, it would take some time. Our connection here is pretty fast, so it would still go pretty quickly, but you would notice the progress bar progress a little more on the bottom right there. So great. We've uploaded a file, right? So now what? So we put this file here, and let's go ahead and click it. Now the one nice thing about this is, I had some fun with this. So the nice thing about this is if we went ahead and deleted this file inside of my pictures, as so, we don't have to worry about that file anymore because it's actually safe in the cloud right now. So my computer I'm on right now can crash and we'd still have access to the file. What I just did right now was actually clicked on that file, and this brings you up into the file preview. So this one's just a photo. As you can see, we have a preview of the photo, but let's just say we want something a little bit more useful. So let's look at this Excel file that we created just to demonstrate the file preview a little bit more. So as you can see right here, I can actually see the Excel file. I have my columns, I have my rows. If I wanted to, I could actually copy this so you can't see this, but I can do a Control-C, paste it here. So it's pretty great. It's a great way of accessing data without having to actually open up the file. So, and this file preview is not just limited to Office type of documents. You can also do video files. You can actually view a video within here, which is pretty nice. In that documentation, it lists all the different files that are compatible with file preview, but I would say for the most part, any Office document, PDF, video, image, I want to say even GIFs if you're into that, they'll all appear within the file preview and actually use it. So it's a nice way. But let's just say we want to do something more. As you can see right here, this Excel file specifically has software needed and then that ID of the person that requested it. So great. We want to email these users, let them know the software's been installed. Now, right now, I can't actually type anything into the file preview, but if you notice in the top right here, there's this open button. And if we click this, we'll actually have some more options. So on the top here, you will see this Microsoft Excel Online. We're going to want to go ahead and click that. And this is actually bringing us to the other part of this webinar, which is Office 365 apps. As you can notice right here, we're in Excel Online. And why is this useful? Well, I can edit my document directly in here, which is good if, I'm working from home and I don't have Excel on my computer, or if I did have Excel on my computer, what I might have to do, say I emailed it to myself, that's another way of getting that file. I'd have to download that file, open it up on my computer, edit it, and then upload it. But oh wait, tomorrow I still need to work on that file from home. So I go back to my computer and I have the old version. But now the problem is you have all these multiple versions of the same file existing. Well, what's nice about what I'm showing right now is opening up the document directly with Excel Online is that the file will always be consistent. I'll talk about this a little bit later on, but this Excel document is actually in my desktop right now. It's actually this one right here, right? So notice the same data on that, and as well as on here, it's exactly the same. So great. We want to create these email addresses. So since we're advanced Excel users, what we're going to do is I'm going to make a new header. And I don't know if everyone knows how to do this, but it's actually really simple to add the add UIC.edu to all these fields. All you would basically do is we select a cell and we're going to type equals and we're going to refer to this cell, which is column A, row 2. So we're going to type in A2 and we're going to put this and sign. What that does is anything I type in this quotes will be added. So I'm going to type in at uic.edu, which is great. Now we have this email address, which is more useful because we'd have to type in, say we copy and pasted this name, we'd have to type this in manually. But let's take this one step further. You see this little rectangle on the bottom right here? If we select that and notice the cursor changes from this mouse to like a little plus sign, I guess you'd say, you're going to click that and drag that down. And what you'll notice is that it's going to add uic.edu for every one of these fields automatically. So that's the beauty of Excel, is that you can do a lot of this stuff without having to do a lot of manual work. You can just automate a lot of this stuff, which is pretty great. So cool. We add our email addresses and this is good. Let's go ahead and save that file. So just as Excel you normally do, you go to File and look for the Save button. But oh wait, where's the Save button? It even says it. Where's the Save button? Click here about learning about saving on Excel Online, which is actually a nice cloud feature of Excel Online. As true with any Microsoft 365 app such as Word Online, Excel Online, PowerPoint Online, everything like that. It automatically saves this while you're working on the document. So don't have to worry about saving it. It's automatically done. Once we're done with the file, we can just go ahead and we're going to close this tab. And we're going to say close this. And notice box already tells you a newer version of this file is available. Would you like to refresh this page? Let's go ahead and I was still a little bit too slow on that. I'm just going to refresh it through the web browser. And as you can see right here, we have the newer version of the file, which is great. And I'm jumping a little bit up ahead here, but if we notice that same Excel file that we worked on our desktop, if we double click this, we also have the change here, which is great. We have consistency everywhere. I had just bolted that email address that was bugging me. I like it all consistent. The consistency is the key. So that's great. Interesting fact is that Microsoft's actually introducing that same feature with OneDrive for a new preview of Windows 10, and that comes out later this year. We were actually able to accomplish this later or last year. So let me go ahead and put that back there. I don't know if you guys saw that. Okay, so I showed you some nice consistency about saving a file and showing your desktop, but let me go a little more in detail of that. So if you want to get back to Box, what I normally do is you can either type box.uic.edu, or I can't really see it from here, but if you close this X on the top right here, that'll actually take you back to Box. If we click on the top left here where it says University of Illinois, that's a shortcut to take us back to all of our files. So as I mentioned earlier, we were doing that Box migration, and the whole reason why we did that is because we wanted to back up your files, but also wanted to make them accessible. So that's great, but I never actually showed you how to do that. So how do I see all my files on my desktop? Well, if we go to all my files, all the folders will be listed here, and we can scroll through, here's desktop right here. We can click it. These are all my files on my desktop. Let me show you one more thing though, because there's an easier way to go about this. You can just type in the name of the file or the folder on the top here. So if I go ahead and I type in desktop, you should notice this comes up right here, and I can click that too. So regardless of where I am in Box, I can always get to my desktop in literally about 3 clicks. Just click this, click the search bar, type in the name if you want. Say we want to go back, say we want to look at documents. We can click that, and one click and we're here. So let's go back to our desktop. And let's see there. So as I demonstrated earlier, if I show my desktop, we should have these 2 files and these 2 folders. These are just generated because of the webinar. And if I look into Box, I have the exact same files and folders here. So it's consistent. It's pretty nice. Let's see. So I already showed this earlier, but let me show another example. So say I had this Word document and I wanted to add some more information into here. Well, I can just go ahead and click open and open with Word Online to edit the document. And I can type in some more information. So here is another sentence. And we don't have to worry about saving, so we're just going to go ahead and close it. And this should say there's a newer version found, and there is. Let's go ahead and refresh it. And as you can see, the changes here. And because of the Box Sync client, which you can see on the bottom right here, that's what we were installing during the migration, this document should have the latest information. So there you go. But we could even do the inverse. If I type something here, here is some more information. And in the desktop version, I do have to save. So let's go ahead and save that. What should happen may not be immediate, but let's just say within a minute, the newer version will appear within Box. So if we go back here, let's go back to our desktop. And I don't know if it uploaded yet. No, not yet. Let's see. So we'll come back to this later, but that should update within a minute or so. If you notice in the bottom right, that's the Box icon. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little orange dot here that actually means it's in the process of uploading right now. So if we look at our preferences, it's actually scanning everything, which is probably why it hasn't updated yet. But it would be there, which is nice. So everything I basically showed up to this point is all about accessibility and ease. I've showed you how to get to Box. I've showed you how to get to your folders. I showed you how to edit a document, which is great. But I guess you could do all this stuff on your desktop too. So let me show you some features that you can only do with the cloud. And one of those things is sharing, which is a great feature. One of the main reasons to use Box, in my opinion. As you can notice right here, we have these different folder icons. There's two different kinds. There's a yellow and there's a blue. Yellow means that this folder is not being shared, only I can see it, and blue means that it's being shared with others. I'll show more details about that in example, or a little bit, but let me start off with an example. So I have this video right here. It's my buddy just playing virtual reality and his dog, freaking out because I don't think dogs have ever dealt with virtual reality ever in their existence, so, how's it going to react? So I think it's a pretty cool video. So say I want to send to one of my student workers because he's into technology and he might think it's interesting. Well, what's a couple ways we can do this? Well, I guess we can attach this to an email, but oh wait, the size is 50.4 megabytes. That exceeds the attachment size and we won't be able to email this. So that's unfortunate. Or maybe we can put in our shared drive. Oh wait, this person that I want to send it to works in a different department and may not have access to this folder. Or worse, they might be somebody outside of UIC. Maybe they're from a different college, and I can't send it to them that way. So I guess there's nothing we can do. Oh wait, there's something we can do. We can share this folder with Box. So remember how I mentioned earlier, I think you're more likely to upload upload a file than a folder. The reason why is because for me, it's a lot easier to go ahead and create a new folder, new test folder, and put a file in there, and that's automatically going to be synced to Box, right? Well, I already did that earlier. I made a new folder, called it videos, and I have my file in here. So, and I'll show you why I think putting the file in the folder is a better way to share it. So let's go back to Box. Again, we're in the root of my files, all my files, and let's go ahead and share that video to my student worker. So let's click desktop, and as you can see right here, we'll have this videos folder. And right now the icon is yellow, which means it's not being shared. So say I wanted to share this, how do I go about it? Well, as soon as I put my mouse over the videos folder, notice on the right side we have this share button right here. So all we have to do is click that share button and we'll have two options. I'll show both of these, but I think the one that most folks will be using is the invite collaborators. So let's go ahead and click that. And once you click that, you'll have this little box that appears with a few options. So I'm just going to talk about these real quick. So the first field is pretty simple. Add a name or an email address. So there's a couple ways. I know my student worker's last name is Rico, so I can type in his, I guess it's first name, George Rico. This automatically ties into the university information. So if you type in their name, they'll show up in the search bar. Go ahead and click them, and that's great. Now, say we didn't know their name for that reason, but we had their email address. I don't know why that scenario would exist, but let's just say it does. We could also type in his full email address and do it that way, and then you can see it populates here. But you can send this to people outside of UIC too and just give them their email address. But I'll explain why you might want to choose the other option of sharing if you're going to do that. So let's go ahead, click his name, and now he's going to be a recipient. The invite permissions is different permissions of the folder. In that document I'm going to attach, it explains more details of which ones you'd want to use and why. And there's even a link to Box's website where it shows all the full details. To me, it's a little bit overwhelming, and a lot of them are similar. So I think the two that most people are going to use is going to be editor or previewer. Editor, think of them as full control. They can download files, they can upload files, they can modify the file, they can delete files, and they can even invite more people to this folder, which is great. So I'm going to go ahead and click that because maybe he wants to send it to the other student workers too. Maybe he might think they're interesting also, and I say go for it. This is whoever you want to share it with. Feel free. The other option you can do is Previewer, and that basically is a very restricted type of permissions. They're only going to be able to see the file online. They can't download it, they can't delete it, they can't modify it. So depending on what you want to do, these I think are the main two you're going to want to use. So in this case, I'm going to choose Editor, and now this is the message that will appear in the body. So let's go ahead and type something. I'm going to say, hello George, check out this video of my buddy playing VR, and I totally can't spell playing VR. It's totally work related. Feel free to share. And I'm going to go ahead and send invites. And notice this icon change from yellow to blue, which is a visual way for me to understand, okay, this folder is being shared, which is great. So let's just say, video is great. He shared it, but I don't want to share this file anymore. He can upload things. Maybe I don't want him to do that. How do I do that? How do I remove the sharing permission? Well, we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to select the folder, and we're just going to move our mouse to the right side and click Share. And let's see, actually, sorry, it's More Options, Share, Manage Access. And as you can see right here, this lists who we have the sharing permissions with. Right now I'm sharing it with George. If I didn't want him to have access anymore, I would just click under permissions, that blue link editor. I don't know if everyone knows this, but if you see an item in blue, it usually means it's clickable, which means you can do something with it. So I'm going to click that, and I'm just going to go ahead and say remove. So now I removed him. I'm the only person that has access to these files. So if we go back to our desktop, we can see this icon change from blue to yellow, which means it's no longer being shared. So that's pretty cool. Now that video file, just show a couple things. So right now it's 50.4 megabytes, but this folder could have had 100 gigabytes in it. There's no limit on the storage of how much you can upload to Box. It's unlimited storage from what they tell us, and that's been true. So you can upload as much as you want. So it's a nice way to send larger files to other folks in the university if if the file is too big. I forgot I have to show you one more thing. So if we go back to videos and we go to share, the other option is get shared link. The reason why this is nice is because the previous thing I showed, you have to have a Box account in order to edit files. You can assume anybody within student affairs has a Box account, and that's mostly true for the rest of the university too. But say I want to send it to a vendor for whatever reason, maybe there's a bunch of photos I got to send to FedEx or something, and you don't want them to necessarily create a Box account, you just want to be able to see the data. Well, if you click on that generate shared link, that's the way I would recommend doing it. So when you see this box, the main thing you need to select is where it says people with the link. You just want to make sure that's selected. If you choose these other ones, people in your company, people in this folder, this requires them having Box accounts. So we have the link. We can email it to whoever. Like I said, it could be outside the university. On the top here, we have the shared link. Let's go ahead and copy it. And I'm just going to show you what they would see. So let's go ahead and open up Chrome in a new incognito window, which means I'm not logged in. It's almost like a new instance. I'm going to go ahead and paste this. And this is what they would see. So notice they can't get back to my other files. They can't really do anything. It's not even asking to log in. They have an option right here, but they can download it. So if they click this, I won't play the video file because I'm not sure how it's going to look over the webinar, but as you can see, it looks a lot like YouTube, which is nice because you can have a video and you don't have to worry about, is anybody sharing this, like a YouTube link, or is there comments? It's a nice, secure way of showing the information and controlling it. You can remove the share link at any time. So let's do that. So those are the basics I wanted to cover. Let me go ahead and close everything out. So it looks like we only have about 5 more minutes scheduled. So at this point, I wanted to stop and just see if there was any questions right now. So we could spend a couple minutes. If not, I'll go into more of the advanced features. So let's see, does anyone have any questions? Nope, not really. Okay, cool. So this is my favorite part of the webinar. Let's talk about this real quick. We have a couple more things that we can show in Box, basically creation and recovering deleted items. We only have 5 minutes, so I'll try to get to both of those right now. So, creating documents in Box, right? So everything I've been kind of showing today assumes that you already have data. It assumes that, this may already exist, you're getting it from somebody. But let's say you wanted to create something new, fair enough. Which is nice because say you don't have access to a full desktop, you don't have a Chromebook or you don't have like an iPad or something. This is a nice way to create data without needing a lot of extra software, which is cool. It's more accessible. So if we go back to Box, on the top right here, you'll notice this New button. If we go ahead and click New, we're going to get a bunch of options of things we can create. So let's just say I want to create a new Word document. I would go ahead and click this. I'm going to give it a name. So I'm going to call this June 28th document. That's a fine name in my opinion. Let's go ahead and create that. And as you can see, we're automatically taken to the Office 365 app, Word Online, and I can begin typing stuff. So this is a test for a demo, and period. And I don't think I touched on this in Excel, but one thing I should emphasize is that in this online app, you have a lot of the same functionality as Word. Pretty much everything you would do except the ability to make macros, which I'm sure is coming soon, knowing Microsoft. But I can insert a table, picture, if I want to dress it up. I don't think there's a design, but I can do like a heading and stuff like that, view it, spell check. So a lot of nice features as the app, right? So let me close this. And basically that's how you create a Word document. But say I don't need anything that sophisticated. I just need to type some notes real quick. Don't necessarily need, all the features of Word. And I want to stay in the Box app. Well, on the left side, you'll notice this thing called Box Notes has a little pencil icon. If you click this is going to take us to another cloud feature of Box called Box Notes. And if you ever use Notes for the iPad or if you use Notes for a Mac, this app will look very, very similar. So on the left, so I have some notes here. So here's my sample notes. Some stuff should populate soon. So as you can see, I can change the font size. I can add points. I can add a table. So I could even upload an image if I wanted to. So I can do a lot of the same stuff as Word, but to me it's a little bit quicker. If I wanted to create a new node, all I have to do is on the left side, there's this little plus sign in blue. We're just going to go ahead and click that. And then it's going to make a new node. And then you can go ahead and type some information in here. Whatever this top line in is the node name. So I'm just going to say node name. And as you can see, it'll appear right here. Great. So, okay, 1 minute. So let me show one last thing, recovering deleted items. So that wonderful Word document we created, let's go ahead and delete that. And I'm going to empty the recycle bin. So I no longer have access to the file within my desktop, which is terrible. My computer crashes, or if I'm trying to email that, I can't get it right now, right? But oh wait, I could do it within Box. So how do we do that? So it's very simple. On the left side, you'll see this trash icon. If you click trash, I'm going to sort it by updated, and this should appear here in just a second. Let's see, let's go ahead and refresh this. Well, it's still syncing right now, so eventually it'll show up here that it's deleted, but recovering it's still the same option. What you're going to do is once you're in the trash, you select the item over here. You're going to scroll to the right and see these 3 dots. If you see 3 dots anywhere, that usually means settings, more options. So we're going to click there, and then we're going to click restore. And this one was actually for a different ticket I was working on, but this item will show up where I restored it, which in this case was actually on my desktop. So I was working on it here, and then notice it actually appeared here. So it's a nice way to recover documents. You have 30 days to retrieve a document, which is nice. And the last feature, I know I'm pretty much out of time, is you might have noticed this little box on the right side that says V8. If you click this box, there's actually previous versions of it. You can download or you can make it the current version, which you might be asking, why is that useful? Well, say I had some data, I didn't think I needed it, and it turns out I did need that data, but I overridden the state file. So even restoring that document is not going to help us. Well, the previous version will actually let us get to a previous version of the file, as the name implies, and we can actually see that data, which is nice. And notice as soon as I made that the current, the version increased by 1. There's no limit, so I know it's greater than 50 at least, so you can make changes and always go back in time. And with that being said, that concludes this webinar. I hope everyone learned a little bit about Box today and understands the cloud a little bit more. I think it's pretty cool. I would appreciate if people leave feedback on how we can improve this webinar and other topics you guys are interested in. Thanks everyone for attending. And what I'm going to do last thing is I'm going to upload that PDF, and maybe we'll make that more accessible to others. So let's see, handouts, drag and drop a file. And let me give that to you guys right here. And Boxing, I just have so many things. And let's see, working in the cloud demo. We're going to go all file. Let's see, where is it? Blah, blah, blah. Box. Here, I'm just going to get this for just a moment. Box. Here, I'll go to it this way. Where are we? SA Technology Shared folder. No, not SA Technology Shared folder. Working the cloud demo. Well, that's embarrassing. Where is this? I'll tell you what, I have all the recipients who attended the webinar today. I will send it as an attachment later on today. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to us at satech@uic.edu, or our help desk number is 1-312-413-5135. All right. Hope everyone has a great day, and thank you for joining.